Hello viewers, welcome to another edition of National Focus. I'm your presenter Tarnia Green. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Among the major developments, over 1,000 students to sit this year's Grade 6 National Assessment. Dominica prepares Diabetic Retinopathy proposal to be submitted to the Caribbean Council for the Blind, and GIS and Creole adds a new fringe event partner. Stay with me as I bring you the details of these and other stories coming up right after the break.
The black Sikatuka fungus can survive on banana and plantain leaves even after they have been cut from the tree. Farmers and hucksters are encouraged to use alternate cushioning material when moving produce from farm to the market. Do not use banana and plantain leaves as cushioning. It is against the law to move banana and plantain trash from the field. Obey the law and stop the spread of black Sikatuka today.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development will administer the annual Grade 6 National Assessment to 1,069 students on Thursday, May 29 and Friday, May 30. 546 females and 523 males will write the exams, which represents a decrease of 84 students as compared to 2013. Education Officer Robert Geist has more details.
Almost half this number comes from the Western District. In fact, we have 498 students from the West, 144 from the East, 247 from the North, and 198 from the South. The exams begin at 8 a.m. sharp at 50 centers around the island. On day 1, the students will be writing the language arts and social studies paper, while on day 2, they will write the math and science papers. The exam format remains the same as in previous years, with multiple choice papers in every subject and the written component for the language arts paper too. Students are asked to be at the centers by 7:45, so the exams can begin promptly at 8 o'clock.
Students are expected to be at the centers by 7:45 a.m. All persons except the supervisor, assistant supervisor, and education officer should stay away from the compound where the examinations are being taken. Parents are being particularly advised to stay away from the examination centers.
Parents are reminded that they should not be at the center during the exams, and they should give the students the opportunity to write the exams peacefully and calmly.
Students writing the exams are being asked to pay particular attention to ensuring that the examination sheets are used appropriately. The candidates must ensure that their name and the candidate number have been correctly entered on their answer booklets before handing them in.
This is the actual answer sheets that students will be using to do the exams. They are reminded to enter the candidate number and circle or shade the corresponding digit. Also, when answering the question, they are reminded that they should shade in the correct answer that they have chosen. No additional marks should be made on this paper. The dots or squares on the paper help the computer read the paper. So students are reminded that they should not join the dots, as it will interfere with the computer's ability to read the paper.
There is also specific guidelines as it relates to the composition paper. Candidates should not use their real names in any composition or letter that they may write in the composition section of the language arts paper.
Students are reminded to write the numbers twice on the composition paper and the name at the top. Failure to write the names on the paper may result in you losing marks for the composition, since we will have no idea whose paper we are marking.
Students are being encouraged to come to the examination feeling relaxed and confident. They should conduct themselves in a manner as not to cause any disturbance in the examination room.
The exams contain nothing that you have not done before. You should enter the exam relaxed. The day before the exam, the Wednesday, read briefly, but do not overexert yourself. Enter the exam relaxed, Work only with what you need for the exam, that is your pen, your pencil, your eraser, and your sharpener. You should not disturb during the exam. No talking. There will be 2 supervisors in the room. If you have any question, you direct your questions to the supervisors.
We here at the Government Information Service wish all the students writing this year's Grade 6 National Assessment all the best. And Dominica is in the process of developing a diabetic retinopathy proposal to be submitted to the Caribbean Council for the Blind, which will form part of a concept paper for a Caribbean diabetic retinopathy program. On Wednesday, a national consultation was held where stakeholders had an opportunity to discuss that proposal. Once the Caribbean Diabetic Retinopathy Program is finalized, funding will be sought from the Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Trust, which supports projects on preventing blindness. Vincentian Carl Brown, a public health professional, is assisting Dominica in developing that proposal.
My role in this exercise is to help the Caribbean Council for the Blind and its partners, including governments and national agencies, to put together, first of all, country proposals and then a regional proposal for the consideration of the trust. The trust has allocated about £1.5 million to the Caribbean for avoidable blindness. In other words, the Caribbean can access through this trust up to £1.5 million, and it must go towards avoidable blindness.
During Wednesday's consultation, the findings and recommendations of the situational analysis of diabetic retinopathy services in Dominica were reviewed. Meantime, local ophthalmologist Dr. Hazel Shillingford-Ricketts says a diabetic retinopathy screening program in Dominica may be the answer to reducing the number of patients with diabetic retinopathy. The Diabetic Retinopathy Screening Program has been in existence in Dominica since 2005 and the only such program in the Caribbean, which started off as a pilot program funded by the Caribbean Council for the Blind with the objective of eliminating preventable blindness. Dr. Hazel Shillingford-Ricketts, who addressed the consultation on Wednesday, explained that diabetic patients are more likely to develop diabetic retinopathy.
Diabetes is a disease where the blood sugar is higher than normal, and as a result, many organs in the body develop complications directly related to this metabolic disorder. The eye is one such organ which can result in blindness, and the eye problem is called diabetic retinopathy. About 30 to 40% of diabetics will have some form of diabetic retinopathy, especially if they have the disease for a long time, if their blood sugars are not controlled, if their blood pressure is uncontrolled, and if their cholesterol is elevated.
However, Dr. Ricketts says early screening of diabetic patients can assist in detection of diabetic retinopathy. This program, she says, is integrated into Dominica's primary healthcare system and non-communicable disease program. Dr. Ricketts said early detection can lead to the prevention of blindness.
Research has shown that we can screen to detect this problem, and we can treat diabetic retinopathy to prevent blindness in about 90% of the diabetics who develop diabetic retinopathy. This disease is important because it is the third leading cause of blindness in the Caribbean, especially in Dominica, and it is the leading cause of blindness among our working population, which has socio-economic consequences for the nation. Hence the importance of detecting this problem early and trying to prevent blindness.
Dr. Ricketts revealed that based on a survey done in 2008, 17.7% of Dominica's population between 15 to 65 had elevated blood sugar levels, which would qualify them as being diabetic or have some level of glucose intolerance. She notes that a number of young people under the age of 30 are now being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
The type 1 diabetics, which by definition are patients less than 30 years old, or which we refer to also as juvenile diabetics, because their disease is more of an acute onset, they are required to have their eye examination about 5 years after the onset of the disease. However, now we are recognizing with our increasing obesity rate, we have a number of young persons less than 30 who are developing the type of diabetes that we see in the older persons, and they would have to have their eye examination at the time of onset. So we have to relook at our young persons who are diagnosed with diabetes.
Dr. Ricketts says it is estimated that Dominica has approximately 7,000 diabetics. In other news, Parliamentary Representative for the Rosa Valley constituency, Honorable Dr. Colin McIntyre, is encouraged by the appreciation shown by recipients of Petrocasa Houses in the village of Trafalgar. The Rosa Valley MP, in an interview with GIS News earlier this week, said the provision of 10 houses to less fortunate families in Trafalgar was just one example of government responding to the housing needs of that community. The Petrocasa Houses were made available to Dominica by the government of Venezuela.
We were able to put 10 Petrocasas in that area, and we must commend President Chavez of blessed memory when he donated to our government here because of the friendship with this government, of course headed by Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, when he donated 50 houses, and the valley was able to benefit from at least 10 of them. And just by looking at the houses and how these people have taken these houses to the next level, they have this Petrocasa, which is like a PVC type of casting, casing, casted with concrete and steel, something seriously and highly durable in terms of termite control, weatherproof, termite proof, and all the different things. So it's going to take much longer for these houses to deteriorate, much longer. And we got at least 10 of them. We got at least 10 of them in that area there. And these people have taken these houses and, you know, basically clad them onto lovely in terms of the nice little porch, and they decorated them, and they're now big on the landscape of it. So you can see a strong sense of appreciation for these houses by the people.
The parliamentary representative says government is now in the process of subdividing lands in Trafalgar, which will be made available to residents at a low cost.
There's another 5 acres of land which we are now in the process of subdividing technically and putting in the roads right now, so we can, you know, sell more land to our people there. And the land was sold very, very reasonable to the people. I mean, we sold the land at $1 a square foot. That's not the price we bought the land at all. We'll pay market price for the land. But we thought, you know, we are here as a government, you know, we want everybody to own a little piece of Dominica. So we're not making it hard for them to own a little piece. And the appreciation, just by paying for the land at $1 a square foot, we give them the house for free. But we have said to them, you know, pay for your land, we give you a reduced price, they're paid for the land, they have their paper. So it's something that a sense of pride and belonging. And it's all been made possible because of this government, of course.
And finally, this news time, the Discover Dominica Authority has added a new fringe event partner to the lineup. Newcomer to the scene, the Reggae Lounge, will be hosting 2 reggae jazz events during the week leading up to the main stage event. At a press conference on Wednesday, Nestor Lee, proprietor of the Reggae Lounge, which he described as a reggae version of the Hard Rock Cafe, revealed that on June 2nd and 3rd, the place to be is the Reggae Lounge.
We're having what we call acoustic showdown, which is almost like an open mic with selected artists, and then we're also having an up close and personal with Dr. Silk, Steely Man, and Jason Ray Charles.
Steely Man is on the lineup at the Reggae Lounge.
Si ouais mes maman ou leve la men wan lè, pou mette aussi la terre maman souffert. Si ouais mes maman ou leve la men wan lè, bay love la même kon i ba ou ye. Si ouais mes maman ou leve la men wan lè, Gade baile pa sa we clair. Si we men maman ou leve la men wan lè, pou tout maman nou.
The week of fringe events are as follows. On Sunday, June 1st, a live jazz sunset cocktail at the Champ. Reggae jazz on Monday and Tuesday, June 2nd and 3rd at the Reggae Lounge. On Wednesday, June 4, the action will be at the Evergreen Hotel's Pan and Jazz Soiree and Word Sound Power Jazz and Creole Edition on Thursday, June 5th at the Anchorage Hotel. On the weekend, the Creole Jazz Happy Hour at the Fortune Hotel scheduled for Friday, June 6th, and on Saturday, June 7, all roads will lead to Bells for Riverside Jazz Creole at Riverstone Bar and Grill. On the big day, June 8, the 5th annual Jazz and Creole event takes place at the Cabritz from 2 p.m.
We present to you a lineup with a difference. Angelique Kidjo from West Africa, Heston Francis, who is Dominican born, Malo Rosado Hilary Quena, Puerto Rican based in Miami, Jack Schwartzbach Trio of Guadeloupean heritage, and of course F-Note Band and Breathe, our own Dominican jazz bands. Tickets are on sale for the Jazz and Creole. EC $75. The outlets, Bullseye Pharmacy in Roseau and Portsmouth, Deepak Scholar Lab, The Champs in Picard, Phone Shack on Bay Street, Portsmouth, Tulip Outback Bar and Grill in Picard.
For patrons wishing to carry along their coolers, a 28-quart container is the maximum allowance for a fee of only $50. The expectation is that patrons will not compete with beverage sponsors. Kubali and Heineken Beers and Appleton Rum. A ban on smoking at the main event will be strictly enforced.
Let's remember, this is a Dominican event. You know, it does not belong to the Discover Dominica Authority. It belongs to us in general, and we are the ones who have to make it work.
Special discounts are available on Win Air flights for overseas patrons. For more information, contact the DDA on their website www.discoverdominica.com. Win prizes via social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Search Dominica Fest and hashtag Jazz and Creole. And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en Creole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, travail pour réhabilitation Plainfield en Loubière cap en place à présent. Parole celle-là sortie au Parlement, Honorable Ambrose George.
Plainfield là, Loubière, c'est une place qui est autant en jeune monde. C'est une place aussi qui est intéressante dans le football. Avec moi-même déjà passé temps là, mon sponsor en team, Ambrose George Eagles, Loubière. C'est point place en football, en Newton League. Avec ces jeunes monde là qui sont venus, ils ont voulu nous pour réhabiliter Plainfield là. So, nous avons travaillé avec Loubière Village Council avec un contracteur pour faire ça. Ça y est ni c'est un miwai qui est protecté field là même avec nous mettons un basketball court et nous mettons clété à ce Plainfield là. So, ces enfants, ces jeunes monde là, ça joue sport à la journée avec les souhaits. C'est une place aussi qui Council Village là, Loubière Village Council qui a servi. Là, il y a une communauté activité à Loubière avec plus important, nous avons Loubière Reunion 2014. Gilet avec moi avec place c'est Center pour toutes ces activités qui prennent place. Attends ça. C'est une place qui est bien besoin avec qui vient là fini. On bail belle pour ces la route Loubière avec environnement.
En autre nouvelle, le département qui a une responsabilité pour le traitement diabétique pour faire épicier tient en consultation aujourd'hui pour formuler un plan qui est servi pour taper assistance traiter les gens qui sont affectés en zier. sinon Dr. Z. Hazel Shillingford Ricketts, plan ça là, katakite tapé assistant pour langue de pour ça.
Aujourd'hui, nous avons joint à Hôtel Garaway pour parler de diabetes, ça c'est une maladie sick, et comment il a affecté les yeux. Nous savons que diabetes ça fait moun avec, so nous avons un programme à Dominique pour screen, pour garder tout le monde qui a diabetes, pour détecter qui moun qui ni problème yeux, pour nous ça traiter yo avec laser, pour empêcher yo venir avec. Mais à Caribla, il y a organisation qui les développé un programme pour yo ça accès l'argent à l'Angleterre qui ça nous a servi pour aider un programme nous, pas à Dominique seulement, mais à chaque place à Caribla. Nous savons que le diabète, c'est la troisième maladie qui a fait moun avec la Caraïbe et c'est la première cause pour faire moun avec moun qui a travail. So, c'est une maladie qui est très importante parce que si moun vient avec, il a affecté la vie, il a affecté place là, il a été comment ça contribue pour le développement Dominique et pour la Caraïbe.
En autre nouvelle, le comité santé Monde Prosper Channel Health fait un village Salah dimanche qui passé. Health Fair Salah, c'était pour motiver les résidents de la communauté Salah, développer et puis faire changement de bagaille qui fait vivre en plus bon la vie et puis bonne santé. Selon la parole qui est sortie, le comité là bien concerné les gens qui sont malades et puis CNCDs, ça c'est maladie comme Pisado et maladie comme ça. En l'année 2008, le ministre de la Santé fait parole, les gens qui sont en Dominique et puis ces maladies salam, bagaille qui est autant fréquente. Notre communauté là, Roselyne Daisy, fait parole en faire là qui en 5 pour 10 l'année là qui passe, 24 personnes morts et puis maladie CNCDs. Record d'hôpital Princess Margaret aussi qu'a montré autant de monde qui ont screen et puis maladie CNCDs. Notre Daisy fait parole, si l'on se record cela, action bien nécessaire pour baisser l'incident CNCDs. Et bien finalement, 4 étudiants à l'Université Dayton, Ohio, en Amérique, en Dominique à présent assisté des entreprises locales, manière pour avancer produits à eux, alors manière faire un bon standard pour exportation. Association Manufacturers Dominique, qui a branché et puis d'autres partenaires facilitent ça. Si l'on officier relations publiques association la Seven Mackenzie, Cooperative Multipurpose Woodfordale, ça c'est un summit, qui a reçu assistance développé produit l'huile coco.
You can aller aider cooperative believers multipurpose cooperative avec ces moun là qui a fait pain farine. You get Dominique pour 10 semaines. You say studying engineering, mechanical engineering avec chemical engineering. Comme ça nous ka you can aider pour comment you ça produit meilleure l'huile coco. Puis nous ka garder comment l'huile coco ça nous ça comment you dit market pour ces produits ça là.
Aid Bank aussi a support pour initiative ça là.
Aid Bank a collaboré puis you a fait une contribution pour transportation pour ces étudiants puis ces étudiants qui resté en Woodford Hill avec yo qui aller en pays Caraïbe avec yo aussi ni pour faire et puis travailler avec ces étudiants à Portsmouth Secondary School avec yo qui nous voulons aussi venir à State College là joindre ces étudiants qui a fait engineering comme ça c'est contribution que Aid Bank qui a fait et puis
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Do you want to know how to take years off your face? We'll tell you how you could do that on our tip of the day. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
What's for dinner?
I know, but you want Cheryl.
Cheryl?
Oh, babes, that's nothing.
Nothing with the neighbor, that is nothing.
Hon,
come on. Whatever.
You know you're my number one.
And she's number what, 10? Plenty married women getting age from the husband these days. I don't want to be one of them. From now on, I'm looking out for me.
But babes, I only talk to the woman.
Until I'm certain, this will take care of both of us, if you're lucky.
Your family depends on you. Don't take home aids.
In-studio discussions, Insight, Creole News, Road to the Throne, Calypso, Creole Festival, Carnival, and lots more local programming. See it all on the Government Information Service, your first for local news.
Studies show that vitamin C is critical for the body and plays an important role in maintaining healthy, resilient skin. While young skin is full of vitamin C, aging skin naturally loses this nutrient over time. Other factors like exposure to UV light, pollutants, and cigarette smoke compound the decline of vitamin C, contributing to signs of aging. The good news is that you can fight back by replenishing your skin's vitamin C levels to help to combat and even reverse time's effects on your face. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and your comments, so drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You could also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm your presenter, Tarnia Green. Thank you so much for watching, and do remember to join us again tomorrow.